Hello, my name is Alex. I am a student of English literature, and this is my story. I want to tell you about my life in London. I also want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story and learn English with me. It is a beautiful summer day. I am traveling on a train. Two women are on the train with me. They are sitting opposite me and speaking English. I do not understand much. I am studying English, but I am a beginner and I do not know many words. I begin speaking to the women. I say some words in very basic English. The women understand what I want to say, and this makes me happy. I tell them that I want to learn English. They tell me that they are from England and they are going home after a conference. Our conversation is about 10 minutes long. At the next station, I get off the train. I say goodbye, and the women give me their address and phone number. They tell me that I can visit them in England. Then we say goodbye. After this meeting, I start working on my English every day. I translate texts and watch films in English. After 6 months, my English improves. It becomes good, but I want to learn more. I decide to go to London because I want to study English there. When I arrive in London, I join a school. My first lesson is on Monday. I meet my teacher and other students in the class. My teacher is a young and kind lady. She is very nice and humble. We introduce ourselves and then start the lesson. Our teacher asks us a question. She wants to know our general knowledge of English. Then she tells us that she can teach English using a very effective and simple method. She says that we will not study textbooks and we will not memorize rules. Instead, we will use English a lot in our daily life. This method works very well for me. I do not like studying from textbooks because they confuse me. Then we talk about what is important when learning a new language. Our teacher tells us that language is for communication. We need language to express our ideas and thoughts. So when we learn a new language, the best method is to use it to express our feelings and to communicate with other people. This is what we do in our course. We speak and use English a lot. Many students try to remember new words and grammar rules, but they do not use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they do not use the language. There is a big difference. Of course, you need vocabulary and grammar, but you do not need to study them deeply. You need to practice them every day. In this course, our teacher shows us a very simple and effective way to learn vocabulary and grammar. I really like this method. Our lesson continues. We talk about our hobbies and what we like to do in our free time. We speak in pairs or with our teacher. I enjoy these classes very much. I feel happy because this way of learning is very effective for me. Chapter 2. How I learned vocabulary. On Tuesday, I go to school again. One student asks an interesting question. She asks what the best way to learn new words is. Our teacher says that there are many ways to learn vocabulary, but she will tell us the most effective one. She says that reading is the best way to learn new words. When people read, they learn new words faster than people who do not read. It is good to read for at least 30 minutes every day. Our teacher explains how to get the maximum benefit from reading. First, the book or text must be interesting for you. You must enjoy reading it. The book can be a story or fiction or non-fiction. It should match your interest. You should never read something that you do not like. When the text is boring, you feel frustrated and learning becomes difficult. It is also important that the text matches your level. If there are too many difficult words, you will feel stressed when you read and find a new word. You should look it up in a dictionary and read its meaning. This helps you understand the text better. You do not need to write the word anywhere. The word slowly stays in your brain. When you see the word again, you will remember it easily. Reading has another big advantage. When you read, you learn new words and also learn how words work together in a sentence. You learn how to connect words naturally. This helps you speak better and understand English more clearly. This way of learning new words is very effective. You should try it, and you will see how fast you can learn new vocabulary. Then, we continue with the lesson. We talk about the situation in England and about the best jobs for students. This topic is important for me because I want to get a job. I want to do something in my free time after school. I ask other students if they know where I can find a job. They tell me that I should go to the job center. The job center offers many jobs, especially for students. This makes me happy because now I know where to find a job. When my school day ends, I go to the job center. I am not sure what kind of job I can do, so I ask the lady there what the best job is for a student. She tells me that there are some good jobs for students. She says that I can work as a cleaner or as a waitress in a cafe. I tell her that I have no experience in these jobs. She says that my English is good enough to work in a cafe. She also says that the training is not difficult and that working in a cafe gives me more chances to speak English than being a cleaner. She tells me that I can start the job on Thursday. I feel very happy because I have a job where I can practice English every day. If you want to learn new words effectively, you should read for 30 minutes every day. On Wednesday, I go to school again. There is one student in our class who is quieter than the others. He is from South Korea. When our teacher asks if we have any questions, this student raises his hand. He says that he has a big problem with pronunciation. He knows that his pronunciation is not very good, but he does not know how to improve it. He does not speak much because he is afraid that others will hear his bad pronunciation. He says that he reads a lot and watches many English films. He understands English very well, but he also wants to improve his speaking. He asks if there is anything he can do to speak more clearly. When our teacher hears this, she says that she will explain pronunciation and how to practice it. She tells us that she will also teach some techniques that can help everyone improve pronunciation. First, she explains why students have problems with pronunciation. She says that when we speak, we use the muscles in our mouth. The problem is that when we speak English, we often use these muscles the same way we use them in our native language. Because of this, our pronunciation sounds different from native speakers. She tells us that almost everyone who learns English has a slightly different pronunciation, and this is not a big problem. Usually, people understand what you want to say, even if your pronunciation is not perfect. However, she says that we can improve our pronunciation with a very useful technique called shadowing. She explains that shadowing is very simple. When you do shadowing, you listen and copy the sounds you hear. Children learn their first language by copying their parents again and again. Over time, their pronunciation becomes natural. We can learn English pronunciation in the same way. She tells us to choose audio or video recordings that are not very fast and that we can understand easily. We listen and copy the speaker at the same time. That is all we have to do. Then our teacher goes to YouTube and searches for videos about the shadowing technique. She finds some good videos where this method is clearly shown. We watch the video together and then practice shadowing for about 3 minutes. After that, our teacher tells us that shadowing is also very helpful when preparing for presentations in English. Before a presentation, we can go to a quiet place and practice shadowing for about 10 minutes. This helps us speak more clearly and with better pronunciation during the presentation. This lesson is very interesting for me because I have never heard about this technique before. When the lesson finishes, I leave the school feeling excited and motivated to practice more English. When I arrived at the school reception, I asked the lady if there are any sports activities. I wanted to do some sports while I was in England. The lady told me that the school has a table tennis team and a football team. She said that the football team has training today at 5. I was very happy because sports are very important in my life. I went to the football training and met many players from different countries. The players were from Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. I liked the training very much. I was happy that my time in England started well. I have a great teacher, new friends from my football team, and tomorrow I will start my job as well. When you want to have good pronunciation, it is important to repeat after native speakers. On Thursday, I went to school again. We had a new student in our class. Her name is Elizabeth, and she is from Italy. At the beginning of the lesson, our teacher asked Elizabeth some questions. She already knew Elizabeth because Elizabeth had visited her class 1 year ago during a 2-week summer program for beginners. When Elizabeth speaks, her pronunciation is very good, and she is fluent. Our teacher was very happy and told Elizabeth that her school in Italy must be very good. Elizabeth said that she does not go to any school. She learns English at home using techniques she learned from our teacher. She reads a lot, practices shadowing, and thinks aloud. She tries to think more in English than in Italian. She explained that the 2 weeks she spent in the teacher's class last summer helped her a lot and showed her how to work on English every day. She wanted to join the class again because 1 year ago she was a beginner, and now she can speak English well. Our teacher was very happy to hear this and appreciated Elizabeth's hard work. Elizabeth also talked about thinking aloud. I did not know what it was, so I asked our teacher. She said it is a very effective technique. You need strong motivation to learn English to benefit from it. She explained that some people may think the technique is a little strange, but it can make your English much better very quickly. I told her I have strong motivation and I want to learn it. Our teacher explained that we think in our native language all the time. Thinking aloud is simply saying your thoughts out loud in English. This may sound simple, but it is very effective. Our teacher suggested asking Elizabeth to explain her experience with this technique. Elizabeth said that when she started, it was not easy. She began with very simple sentences. For example, I can speak English, or it is good that I can speak English. I want to be better. I need to practice every day. She used the words she knew to express her ideas. At first, thinking in English was difficult because her thoughts in Italian were long and complicated. She had to find simpler ways to think in English. After some time, it became natural to think in English. Something interesting happened when Elizabeth met a man from Australia who was on holiday in Italy. She was still a beginner, but they started to speak English. She realized she could communicate without problems. Her sentences were simple and short, but she did not translate from Italian to English in her head. After this experience, she started to use thinking aloud more often. This technique helped her speaking a lot, and she still uses it every day. Our teacher thanked Elizabeth for sharing her experience. I wanted to use this technique too, because I wanted to get better at speaking. When you want to speak English fluently, thinking aloud is very helpful. I want to give an extra piece of advice. When you want to learn English, you should read, listen, think, and speak. Do each activity for about 40 minutes every day. You can read, listen, and practice shadowing using basic English stories. This is a very effective way to improve your English. The voiceover in this video is provided by Real English Fluency.